Hello everyone, my name is Varun Prashar and today we are going to continue our React learning series and today we are going to work on what is conditional rendering. So conditional rendering is like let's say the example of login and logout. So whenever I am logging in, there should be a button in the header which is saying that now you can log out, right? The navigation is not changing, navigation is same. What we are doing is we are conditionally changing something and we are conditionally rendering something in my component so that instead of login, it should now say logout. So this is what we are going to do today. As you can see that this is my previous application where we last time we discussed about what are props and how to deal with different props. Here we have props and then created another child component and this is working fine. So now let's take the example where I want to create another sibling for this props component. And what we will do is we will actually decide based upon the any state of the or based upon the property pass to the component that we want to render another child component or we want to render its sibling. Okay, so for that, what we have to do is let's create another child sibling.js. All right, and then in this child sibling, what we are going to do is we are going to replicate this component and let's rename it to child sibling. Okay, now this component is created and let me import this component in my props component. Let's change it to child sibling and child sibling. All right. Let's also change the content. Let's remove all the props from this component as of now. I am a sibling of another child component. Okay. So now here, right now, if we have to just see if this component is working fine or not, what I will do is, so guys, let's place it at the bottom and let's have a HR tag. Okay. So now you can see that at this moment I am loading both of the siblings, right? And also let's change I am sibling 1 and let's change it to I am sibling 2. So if you look at the application right now, we are seeing both of these components, sibling 1 and sibling 2, right? I am sibling 1 and I am sibling 2. Now here comes the situation where I want to conditionally render any one of these components, either sibling 1 or sibling 2. So for that, what we can do is we can create a variable. Let's say let comp is equal to sib1. I'm just giving you the example at this moment, and I am going to compare if comp is equal to sib1, then let render comp. Okay, then render cop is equal to another child component. All right. So guys, here we are doing an interesting thing. Instead of calling my or declaring my component in the return statement, I am actually assigning my component in a variable. So that thing is possible. So this is the learning number 1. And else I want to include child sibling. All right, guys. So now I don't think there is a need to include these two components. Now what I will do is I will use an expression and then I will see render comp. That's it. So now it is saying that there is a error. REN is not defined. Where I have, okay, it is saying that online number, let me render comp. Okay, so there was a hot reloading issue that it was not showing me the updated value, but giving me some error. Okay, guys. So I know that component is sib1, and if it is sib1, then render another child component. Another child component, you can see that it is sibling 1, so that is why it is showing you the sibling 1. And let's say I am changing it to sib1 2. Okay, now it will check if it is sib1. No, it is not sib1 because it is sib1 2. So it will go to the else statement, and now it will see that okay, now render component will be having child sibling. And here we are just printing the variable which includes the component value, right? So in real world, what we can do is, let's say we have a value called is logged in as true. Okay, so now obviously this value will be available over there, right? And now what I can do is, if it is logged in, what I want to do is I want to show another child component. So that is why it is showing me I am sibling 1. Similarly, if I make it false, let's say I am making it false, so you can see in the output that now it is showing the I am sibling 2. So the another learning we have learned here is, now instead of using a variable in the component itself, we can even have a comparison operator via a prop. So it is just one and the same thing, right? Right now I'm just showing the another component, child component. We can even show logged in user, or different routes or different components based upon the logged in user or not logged in user. So now let's move to the other point. This is the basic rendering mechanism. There is another thing we can apply in our JSX. So this is JSX. Let's say I want to do the same thing, but I don't want to have it over there. Then what I can do is, if I am having a single condition only, there is no else block, then there is a situation where what I can do is, I can say if is logged in equal to true, and another child component. Let's make it triple equal to. Okay, and then we can remove this thing. Now we also don't need anything, and oops, we- let's remove this thing also. So guys, what it is saying is that if is logged in is true, if is logged in is true, then load this another child component. So guys, whenever we are having any condition in JavaScript, and after that there is a expression, so if this condition is matching, that expression will get executed. This is the default JavaScript behavior that we have in our language. So there is nothing fancy we are doing here. So based upon my requirement, if I want to show only single condition, if condition is satisfied, then load this particular thing, right? So this is what I am doing at this moment. So this is the one point. Now let's move to the other point. What if I want to have if and else both directly inside my JSX? Then what can I do? So guys, for that we have a situation, we have a solution called if. What we can do is, we are going to use a ternary operator for that. I hope you are aware of ternary operator. It is like, if condition is matching, then run execute 1, otherwise execute 2, right? This is the basic ternary operator that we have. So here what we are going to do is, here I am saying that if is logged in, then you have to load component 1, else you have to load, sorry, child 2. Okay, so let's refresh it. All right, now I have to comment it. So right now it is saying that I am sibling 1. This is because is logged in is true. So is logged in is true, then load another child component. Now let's make it false. Okay. Now you can see that it is saying I am a sibling 2. Okay. So is logged in true? No, it is not true. So let's load this child component. So I will come here. I am sibling 2. There can be grammatical errors, guys. So bear with me such problems. So that's it. So guys, in this video, we have discussed about how to do conditional rendering, how we can show the data based upon different conditions. If it is satisfying my condition, do one thing. If it is not satisfying my condition, then do another thing. So uh, we can have different ways. Either we can add our conditions in the JSX itself, where we can follow this kind of strategy like this one. Other way is I can define my condition at the top of the component, like top of the return statement, where I can uh, have my condition in my variables and I can assign the component to a variable, and then I can directly load the variable in my JSX directly, right? Similarly, we also discussed that how to have conditional rendering based upon the property value. Like I have passed is logged in as a property in prop component. So from is logged in, it is just comparing that if is logged in, if user is logged in, then load one component. If it is not logged in, then load another component. Similarly, you can use state like const is logged in that user as use state false, let's say, or yeah, false, right? So it is giving me the error that it is not defined. So I have to port use state from React, right? Now it is there. Now let's refresh. It is saying that is logged in has already been declared. So this is not required, right? And let's reload it. So it is loading the another child component because is logged in as false. So guys, I hope that you will like this video. If you have any queries, do ask your query in the comment section. I will try to respond to your query as soon as possible. Now, there is one more point. If you feel that which one will be the better approach according to you. So guys, I must say if I am making my condition before the return statement, not inside the JSX, then it will be better in terms of better in terms of readability. Like let's say I have a return statement where I am creating a very big JSX, then it will be very difficult because I will not be able to figure out that where is my conditions in the JSX. If I am using different conditions at multiple places in the same return statement, it will become very difficult to figure it out, right? So that was the point I have missed. So in terms of bad practice, I would suggest that in terms of good practice, I would suggest that you should have your conditions at the top, and then you can render those conditions over there in JSX via a variable. So that's all from my side, guys. Thank you. Stay tuned. Bye bye.